The opinions and views expressed by individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the same as this network, their groups, or other organizations they may be involved with.
Let's all go into pot, whether we like it or not. Best I can tell, the world's gone to hell, and I'm sure gonna miss it a lot. All the whiskey in Lynchburg, Tennessee, just couldn't fill the spot. I got $100 bill, man, you can keep your pills, man. It's all going to pot. It's all going to pot, whether we like it or not. Best I can tell, the world's gone to hell, and we're sure gonna miss it a lot. All the whiskey in Lynchburg, Tennessee, just couldn't fill the spot. I got $100 bill, man, you can keep your pills, man. It's all going to pot. I got $100 bill, man, you can keep your pills, man. It's all going to pot.
Hi, good evening, everyone. You caught me spamming. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Peace, News, and Views here on the NOK Network. We are I almost did the wrong intro. I'm fucking doing great today. We are patients everywhere advocating cannabis evolution with me, Kim Cooper, and no brain tonight, and my awesome fill-in joint host tonight,
Whoop, whoop.
Mr. Ron Mcnabb in the house. How's it going, Ron?
It's going great. It's going great. I'm happy to be here, and it's going to be a great show tonight. I'm totally stoked.
Me too. I'm spamming.
I already did that.
I gapped, right? Because I was on my block for 90 days. Right. And I got so used to not sharing out the feed that now it's like through the intro's like 3/4 over, and it's like, oh, you can do that now.
right. Yeah, you've been on blocks probably more than you haven't been on blocks.
Yeah, like 90 days consecutive. Like that was fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I still can't go live on my main profile.
Me neither. Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. There's a lot of people like that, so I don't know if it's a glitch or what's going on.
I don't know. I have no idea. Every once in a while, I give it a shot just to see.
Yeah. Same here.
Hey, is it going to work? And it's like, oh, no, still don't work. All right, fuck that. Yeah. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane the amount of bullshit that we're all going through with this kind of stuff. It's crazy. So yeah, brain dead today. I've been in the sun far too much all week with it baking my brain, and of course, we're getting ready. We're gearing up. We're getting ready for, of course, the 710 Stoner Games. So yeah, looking forward to that. And today we raised the tents this afternoon.
Right on.
Yeah. So they are up and in place and ready to go. Now that means tomorrow I'll be doing stuff like getting the furnishings inside and the tables and chairs and stage and all of that kind of stuff. The lights are already hung. We hung the lights on the inside before we raised them so that I wouldn't have to do the ladder thing.
Yeah, I remember that for the last couple of years doing the ladder.
So I got smart and I did it with we had the roofs on the ground, and I got in there underneath, and I just like, okay, let's do this now while it's on the ground, and we got that all done. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, now the lights are already in there. Now that they're up in the air, and it's good.
Right on.
Yeah, looking forward to getting it all done so that I can have a couple of days of relaxation prior to the actual event taking place, and not be like still putting walls up or something, when people are arriving.
Right. And when is the event taking place again?
July the 10th, we accept people to come on in and pitch your tent and get your spots and all of that. July the 10th is a Thursday, July the 10th, so people can arrive then and pitch your tents and get your spot and all that. We don't have any amenities or entertainment or anything like that taking place on the 10th, but there is a fire pit. You can help yourself to build a fire and have a fire and pitch your tent and do your thing and mull around on the grounds and stuff. And then on Friday, the 11th, it begins everything. We'll be starting around noon. The DJ will be starting to spin tunes here and there, and the coffee and tea and stuff will be on, and water and pop and stuff like that will be available. Cool. And everything. We have token paint happening right after dinner on Friday, and then following the token paint, we will have Ken Crazy Fingers Perron takes the stage for jam sesh. So anybody that arrives at the games, if you play an instrument, bring your instrument with you and join Ken Crazy Fingers Perron up on stage for a jam sesh. So if your instrument is your voice, we would love to hear you sing. Bring your guitars, maracas, mouse organs, whatever it is that you play. Bring it along.
Awesome. Sounds like it's going to be a great time. And I'm going to be there. I'll be there Thursday as well.
Awesome.
Coming up on the Thursday. So, and who knows? I might end up doing the a later night sesh on the Thursday night. Who knows? With my mobile studio, if I can get it up and running.
Absolutely. So, I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
I have a surprise for you. You know how we've put you in the shaggin' wagon the last couple of years. That's a van. It's an old hippie van that's got painted up with pot leaves and mushrooms all over it. And we've turned it into a camper and stuff, and people stay in there. We renovated it.
Nice.
So we've torn out all the guts, and it's now a nice 1-bedroom.
Nice. That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah. So the side door stays closed and it's sealed. Now you enter and exit through the back doors.
Through the back.
And there's a patio there outside the back doors.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I appreciate being able to stay in the hippie peace van. Honestly, I do.
Yeah. So we renovated it, and it's all fixed up now. It's much nicer than it was.
Awesome. Yeah. There wasn't much wrong with it before, in my opinion, because I'm going.
It's a van with a bed.
It's a van. I can rock it out. I can rock it out. I could sleep under the stars with nothing above me if I had to, but.
Yeah, anyway. But at least it's a hard top 10, right?
Exactly, right? I'm excited.
Tonight, just to let everybody know out there, we're trying to kill time and get some people in the house. I see a bunch of lovely peoples is in the house. Hello, Ted. Hello, Jessica. Hello, Aaron Drake is in the house as well. Crystal. Hello, everyone. Hello. We have Ron is in for Siir SteveO tonight. Where is Siir SteveO, you say? Well, he's here. Yes. But he's our guest tonight. We are interviewing my partner in crime, my sidekick extraordinaire that's usually sitting right beside me, helping me do this show. He is our guest tonight, and we are interviewing Siir SteveO. So Ron graciously agreed to fill in and be my joint host this evening so that we can introduce our audience who has gotten to know Siir SteveO over these years as our joint host. Let's get to know him about his story, his journey. I mean, he's a patient first, right? And I mean, he's been through a lot, and he's using cannabis as medicine. He's also an entrepreneur and developed a product that he launched on the market. I mean, this guy's got his fingers dipped in all kinds of stuff out there in the world of cannabis, helping out other activists and doing their thing as well. I thought it was about time we shone a spotlight on this joint host extraordinaire and gave him a moment to talk about his story.
right? And I couldn't agree with you more. And he is also an amazing asset to the network here.
Oh, 100%.
Like
100%.
100%. Like it seems like he's always been here. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out how long he's been with the network in a few minutes.
Yeah, let's find out all that and more. Let's bring him in. Let's not waste any more time. We are going to get at tonight's interview with the one and only Mr. Certified, my partner in crime and host on this marvelous show, this one and only Mr. Siir SteveO in the house. How's it going?
Wow. What a welcome. I really appreciate it, everybody. That is very, very complimentary. I appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
All true.
You're welcome. And all true. Exactly, all true. And we love having you here for doing the shows, but we also love having you here tonight. Yeah. To get a chance for us and our guests to our viewers to know you a little bit more and find out a bit more about you. So
100%.
Welcome, SteveO.
Yeah, welcome. Absolutely. Let's dive in. Like let's do this the way we would do it with any other guests that we have on. SteveO, give us an idea of your backstory, right? Like, how did you get involved in cannabis activism and advocating for the plant? Tell us your backstory on where all this started.
Well, I grew up in the panhandle of Maryland, right where I could be in West Virginia, Pennsylvania, or Maryland within 10 minutes. I was literally, it could be in any of the 3 states in that amount of time because I was so close. So I was actually right in the middle of what we would call the Bible Belt here in the USA. And cannabis was definitely frowned upon. And it wasn't something that, you definitely, in those times back in the 70s and the 80s, you had to keep it to yourself anyway because you didn't want anyone to catch you.
That's right.
And, living in apartment complexes where you had to worry about smell, things of that sort, so, it was a little tough. But I tried it for the very first time when I was 14 years old. And boy, it was something else. It was just recreational, of course, at that time, and I just knew that I liked it. But it was very strong. It was something that I felt drunk. You know what I mean? That's how well it worked. But then I had gotten into a bit of trouble when I was young, around 15 years old. I like to get into fist fights and do things like that. I like to pick on bullies that were bullying other people. And I like to protect my friends and things of that sort. So I ended up into some trouble and I was put away until I was just about 18 years old.
Wow.
And so I didn't get another chance to experience cannabis during that time, of course. And when I got out, I had a couple friends that were like, here, try this. And, because I didn't want to be a drinker, I would get into trouble if I drank. So he's like, well, here, try some cannabis. And that was when I knew right then and there, it was recreational for me starting out. And I didn't realize until later in life, as I did get medical problems, how it was more of a medicine for me than recreational at that time.
Yeah. So. And these things dawn on us years later. We all start off using recreationally, right? I mean, that's the same story for everybody, right? But then when you get your education, you start looking back and it's like, was that rec? I'm not so sure now, right?
Yeah. Well, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
Even recreational though, when you look at what recreation is, what is it what does recreation mean? Rest and relaxation, to recreate yourself. It's a time to de-stress.
Yep.
That's recreational use is medicinal use.
We gravitate towards this plant for that.
There is no difference between the two, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, Ron, I've heard a lot of opinions on this subject before, and I haven't heard another opinion that I agreed with more than what you just said right there. And the way you put it was perfect.
Yeah.
Was perfect.
That's not from me. That is from Neil Magnuson.
Yeah.
That is what he preached. Well,
Yep.
he preached many things, but that was the main thing that he preached, is that all
There
use
is no rec.
recreational. There is no such thing as recreational use. It is medicinal.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah,
Yeah,
whether we
100%.
realize it or
100%.
not.
Yeah,
Right?
100%. Couldn't agree more. You know, SteveO, it's ironic to me that you got locked up in juvie for protecting children.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, it was, you know, back in the 80s, judges were allowed to own boys' homes.
Right.
And they were also allowed to sentence young boys with insurance to these boys' homes if you had health insurance through your parents. And I was a victim of that as well. That was when I was sent there, and it was unended. Like, you know, most people would get 90 days for a fist fight. You know, I did years, and I wasn't allowed out until the insurance ran out, and then all of a
It's a
sudden,
money grab.
I was allowed to go.
Yeah, it's a money
And,
grab.
Yeah, the whole place eventually, luckily, got shut down, and the judge got into trouble over it. But you know, that was the way it was for me. But not to say that I didn't deserve my sentence. I mean, you know, there was a guy that was picking on me, and I fought back, and because I obliterated the guy, I ended up getting into all this trouble over it. But they took into account my school record, all the other fights I had been in, all of it. So it was me. I have to accept responsibility for it. That's what happened, because I didn't even learn my lesson. I wasn't even 19 years old, and I went and got into another fight with a police officer's son, and that got me locked up again. Except now I was in real jail. So
Big boy jail.
yeah. That taught me a lesson. That taught me that I never wanted to go back there again. I did my time. I came home, and I swore I'd never go back, and I've never been back again.
That's good.
Awesome.
Good for you.
Awesome. That was when you were that was when you were 19?
Yeah, that was when I was just about 19. Yeah, I was 18 when I went in.
Yeah.
But when I got out, I was 20. So, but it was, you know, it was an eye-opening experience. And you know, one of the things that I have to add is that I was in there with a lot of people that were in there for simple cannabis possession that were doing huge time.
Yeah.
I remember that there was one guy that was in for armed robbery, and he was sentenced to 2.5 years. There was another guy that was in there that got caught with a just a quarter pound of some Mexican bud that was all full of seeds and everything. Got caught with a little brick of it, and he got 5 years.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
And
Oh my God.
Nonviolent,
That's fucking crazy. That's
nonviolent
fucking
crime,
crazy.
no victim.
That's fucking crazy. But that's a lot of that too is like you say, the area, right? What they consider down there in the States is the Bible Belt, which I'm familiar with.
Mhm.
I lived in West Virginia,
Yeah,
which is part of the Bible Belt, and very much the same. Like, I mean, they didn't even sell rolling papers in the state of West Virginia when I lived there.
right.
There was no pouch tobacco or anything because they didn't sell rolling papers because,
Right.
oh my God, they could be used for pot.
That's exactly right.
You know, so they didn't, I mean, one plant, you're looking at 10 years,
Mhm.
you know, like it was
Jesus.
absolutely fucking insane when I lived in West Virginia, and I was smoking pot the whole time I was there, and I was Canadian, man. If they would have fucking caught me, I'd probably still be locked up.
Right?
You know?
Amazing.
Yeah, but fuck, yeah. I mean, it's absolutely insane. That's the one thing I really have an issue with. I mean, I've often thought about living permanent residence in the States. I've often considered it throughout the years. I've lived in the States on a number of occasions part-time. But that's the only thing that stops me from actually moving there is the laws. And it's not the laws like this is the law. It's the way that you have a pay-to-play system.
Right.
I mean, prisoners are a commodity there.
Mhm.
And as long as they're a commodity, then there's incentivization to arrest, because you have to fill coffers for a contract that you created with your state and the jail. They have a contract to fill.
Right.
So I mean, it's just like I can't be a commodity, you know.
Yeah.
That's the big stumbling block for me, eh?
Yeah. I mean, as a prisoner, you lose your rights and everything. You know, you lose a lot of your humane rights as well.
Yeah.
And then you become a piece of property, a commodity, like you say.
Yeah. You can't vote after either, eh?
If you're a felon.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Felonies, you cannot vote.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I
That's
mean,
crazy.
here in Canada, our laws are very similar. Like the amount of time you're going to get, or you know, what is legal and what is not legal is very, very similar. There's not a hell of a lot of difference between the United States and Canada, but it's how it plays out. That's the big difference, right? Our jails aren't privately owned, and even the ones that do have corporate tentacles, they're not based on profit. You know, it's not a big profit. Like, you don't make money on a jail. The jail breaks even. It doesn't cost us anything. If anything, it costs taxpayers money, but it doesn't cost the owners money.
Right.
Right. But it's not making any money either. It's not. That's not its purpose. Is not to make money. So it's just sort of is, and it pays for itself through taxpayers' monies, right? So I mean, that's the huge difference between the United States and Canada's judicial system, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I noticed that there's a big difference in the judicial system in different states. Because, like, when I was in juvenile detention, I was in Tennessee because we had moved from West Virginia to Tennessee for my stepdad's job. Then, when I was in big boy jail, I was in Illinois and Chicagoland. And now, big difference. Big difference. And, you know, I think that a lot of that should be taken into account when sentencing someone, you know, where they're going to be putting you and who they're going to be putting you in there with. And there is no leniency. They, like you said, they treat you as a commodity. You're a spot in a cell. You are a number, and that's all you are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking sad. That's
Crazy.
It's a horrible thing, you know, and I think a lot of the problems that you all face down there with questionable, to say the least, justice systems that happen in different jurisdictions, it's all can be traced back to money, the way all evils can be, right?
Right.
You know, I mean, if there's a money trail, then follow the money. You know, I just don't see that as a I don't know what you would call it, a proper judicial system. You know, when it's based on profit margins, then how can it be just?
Yeah.
You know, I
Too
mean,
easy
it
to
makes
overlook.
it. Yeah.
Just
Easy
to
to
provide some
manipulate.
numbers. Yep.
Yeah.
And then that
Absolutely.
happens in any industry. There's some industries where it's easier to manipulate the numbers and all that than others. And there's one that's quite easy.
Yeah, I mean, you were kept in a juvenile detention center for literally years when it should have been a question of a handful of months. And I mean, for you, thank goodness you were okay, but some kids come out of these situations absolutely fucked.
Right.
Because they've been in there for too long. You wind up with, you know, institutionalized. You've got a young person coming out of there at the age of 17 or 18, and they've already been in for a large number of years. They have a hard time living in society at that point. You're creating criminals for big boy jail. because you've created everything that's required for this kid to now reoffend.
That's right.
Exactly.
And some of these kids could be so young that, you know, it was more or less them just being brats. They shouldn't have.
That's it.
They shouldn't have been locked up, honing their skills, learning from other criminals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's very, very sad. I'm sorry that happened to you, SteveO. You know, but I'm glad that you have the genetic and personality makeup that you have, because you were able to come out of that still a good person.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely learned quite a bit. I got rid of the big chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
You know, it was almost like the place I was in was almost like it was a military school, except for it wasn't military.
Right.
The way they did these programs were that they were so overly strict on you that if you can follow the rules in the place you were in, society's rules would be nothing.
Right.
That you would be able to come out and, you know, I suppose it worked to a point because I really straightened up. I learned how to conform in a way of, you know, not, you know, getting my way is the only way, you know, and that I had to learn. I had to learn a lot of respect for others and my elders especially, and respect for other people in their positions, you know, because I had none really. And, you know, one of the things that bothered me though was the bullying, because I couldn't stand bullies, because when I was young I was bullied. When I got older I got big and I wasn't bullied anymore, and I really got angry watching that being done to other people. So, you know, it was just you know, I went about it the wrong way because I was immature. I shouldn't have been out there basically doing to others what I said that I was against, you know, because I mean, I would, you know, if someone were to beat up someone smaller than them, I was the first one there, you know, being like, what are you doing?
Right.
I couldn't take it. It just really upset me, you know, and especially handicapped and disabled people. You know, I have a little brother who is, well, you know, they used to call it retardation, and I'm not sure what it is now, but that's just what he was. He was born at 4 months, so he was handicapped for sure mentally. And man, when he went into high school, instead of him getting picked on, being my little brother, he was a rock star. Everybody loved him, and it started a trend in my school, literally, to where if you were different and people normally would pick on you, all of a sudden people were celebrating other people, because I was one of the people that were like, there will be no bullying anywhere around me. And I really made a difference back then, especially when I look back on it now.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. That's an awesome story. I love hearing things like that. That's awesome.
You are so right, Crystal. You are so right.
Thanks,
Crystal. Exactly.
100%. I mean, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but I'm glad to see that you know you came out of it being whole. Like I said, that doesn't happen for a lot of them that come out of a situation like that. So you come out, you know, you're reintroduced to cannabis, and you're like, oh yeah, oh this is all right. I'm liking this, you know, and you went on like that for a lot of years. Just you know, you're just a pot smoker, right?
Ever since, that's right. Yeah. You know, right after that, you know, was all behind me in the past. You know, I decided that I was going to live straight and narrow. You know, I was definitely into cannabis, and I was, you know, I was the guy that you would find if you wanted some. Let's just put it that way. And, you know, it turned out to be really good. You know, finally, when I was a couple years went by, I was living with a friend of mine in an apartment, and in comes walking the most beautiful 5-foot tall redhead that you ever seen in your life, and that was my Kelly May. She was the apartment assistant manager for the whole complex, and she had stopped by over a repair or something that had to be done or something like that. And as soon as we laid eyes, we pretty much clicked. I knew right there that she was somebody special, and we ended up together. And this year it'll be 30 years, by the way, that we've been married. So we've been together for close to 32 now. So
Nice.
yeah, so that was definitely a good thing that happened. And Kelly and I both have the we use cannabis as a medicine. She uses it for anxiety, especially. No pills for her. She's never taken them ever. She only uses cannabis.
Wow.
Nice.
And that's amazing, so
It is. And as you were floating along, the 80s came, the 90s came.
yeah.
And then we're into the new millennia, and now places like California
That's
are
right.
doing stuff like medical cannabis. In the late 90s, that charge started up, and Jack Hare's out there, and people are advocating, and we're finding out all this stuff on medical cannabis. What's this now? What was your first experience with finding that information? Like, how did the first time you heard about medical cannabis, how did that happen?
2 words: back pain. As soon as I hurt my back for the first time, and there was no especially back in the 90s, that they weren't quite into the handing out the pain medicine and things of that sort. It was very hard to get.
Yeah.
And I knew that cannabis edibles especially were amazing for my back pain. I could take it and it would literally get rid of it. And smoking it, not as much, but the edibles would actually take the pain away. And that was a big deal. That was one of the things that opened my eyes up to it. And there's nothing like back pain, I'll tell you that much. I mean, I could wiggle my pinky and my back would hurt. That's how bad my back was. And back then they weren't testing us at work for it or anything.
Right.
So I was able to enjoy that at night, and even during the day sometimes, actually, because I had my own shop for a while. But yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I can certainly relate to back pain myself. I have severe spinal stenosis in the lower back, and the cannabis, man, wow. And it's an amazing plant. It really is. And I love it when other people can get the same type of relief that I found, and it works, man. It works.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I absolutely think so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is a wonderful, wonderful plant that can provide so many healing things, properties, and healing abilities and stuff that can take place. I mean, it's a synergistic plant. It creates homeostasis within us, and if we can achieve homeostasis, we are fucking golden. If we can achieve that, and many times the ailments that are standing in our way from creating homeostasis are coming from a lack of nutrients that we should be getting from a lot of stuff that we no longer consume.
Right.
I mean, we have an entire endocannabinoid system in our body that cannabis is a perfect complement for the complement for. And that's where we can get all of the properties from the plant that we need in order to complement the system that regulates our mood, our energy levels, things of that sort. It's just amazing how they work well together, like you said, synergistically together.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's not all about just the THC, is it?
No, it never is. It's all about the entourage effect of of all of the cannabinoids working together. Kim has a term that she uses, that she coins, RSO, FICO, whatever you want to call it, and it's whole plant oil. And I think that is actually a much better term for it, because that is truly, in fact, what it is, a full spectrum, and it's just,
Get the whole plant in there, man.
Yeah.
The whole fucking thing. Let's do it. And I mean, there's, and people are like, oh, well, there's nothing in that. How do you know? How do you know? 10 years ago, we thought CBD was a downside.
Right.
We tried to get rid of it.
Yep.
Because we didn't know.
Yep.
We
thought if we took CBD that it would ruin our THC high.
Yeah, it's ruining my high. We got to get rid of that shit.
Right.
It's putting a blanket on the high. Get rid of that. Okay. And now we're like, every freaking grower out there is working fearlessly to try and put it back in. Because, we work tirelessly at getting it out. Every single year, they identify more cannabinoids that are in that plant than when we had a year before.
Mm-hmm.
So not just people tell me no, that's no good, or no, you don't want that. How do you know?
Yeah, it's not just cannabinoids that they're finding. There's other constituents in the plant as well. Terpenes and other stuff too. Like we only, because of
terpenes, flavonoids, cannabinoids, alkaloids. Like there's a gazillion things. Amino acids.
Because of the illegality. Exactly. Yeah. Because of the illegality of the plant, the research from that aspect of what we know about this plant, we know this much right now compared to what there is to know.
That's right. And you notice that all the research is all good too. Yeah. Everything, I haven't seen a real report yet that says anything negative about cannabis. Who was it that said the most dangerous thing about cannabis is getting caught with it? Was that Bill Murray? I think.
Yeah, I think it was one of them. Like that was one of the comedians. I can't remember. And that is 100% fucking true.
Yeah.
Right. Even with the aspects like stuff that we do know, we don't know everything there is to know about. We know about this thing. We are assuming these things about this thing because we don't fucking know. For instance, chlorophyll. Right. Okay. Chlorophyll is in all plants. It's the color, right? I mean, when you're extracting, you get the chlorophyll and it can make it all green looking and stuff like that. If people say, oh, you're soaking too long, you're just getting the chlorophyll out. The chlorophyll's not doing anything. It's just fucking up your taste or fucking up your color, or it's got no medicinal aspect. How do you know?
Exactly.
You don't know. Right? Nobody actually knows for sure. We're all assuming, we're making assumptions, and we're learning as we go along. So I don't discount anything. I don't discount the aspects of what part does chlorophyll play, because we simply do not know if it does play a role. And we haven't gotten that far yet. So I don't discount anything, and that's why I'm a big proponent of whole plant oil. Soak that bitch till there's nothing left to soak out of it. There you go. Because we just don't know. So why not just take it all and your body is smart enough to grab what it wants and discard the rest.
That's right.
So just give it all and your body will take what it wants.
That's right. It does the same with vitamins. I mean, if you take, twice the amount of vitamin D that your body needs, you're just going to pee it out anyway.
That's it. Now you've just got expensive urine.
Right.
You can go to the health food store and you can spend $1,500 on every fucking vitamin that they've got in that shelf. And you can go home and you can take them all. Chances are all you're going to do is you're giving yourself expensive pee because your body is not going to absorb it, but your body is smart enough. Yep. It will take what it wants and it will discard the rest.
Right.
So I do the same thing when I'm using plant medicine, and whether that's cannabis or plantain. It's the same procedure. It's all plant or animal medicine, plant, animal, and fungi medicine. Your body is intelligent. It'll take care of it. You just give it all and let the factory work it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very
But
good point.
I've always preached that. A lot of people think I'm crazy, but well, they're mostly right. We're gonna move on to the next phase of your life, SteveO. A lot of changes happened. You were using cannabis medicinally, and you also have another health condition, diabetes, which is a horrible thing that strikes many, many Americans and Canadians and others across the world, and can have some devastating effects on your body, which it did. And it gave you a whole new reason to take a look at using cannabis as medicine. Tell us about your diabetic chronicles, I guess.
Sure. Well, in 1999, I was at my doctor visit about my back, and my doctor's wife was a nurse, and she was just checking urine on patients because she was a health lady. And she checked my urine and found out that my blood sugar was really high somehow during that. And then we did a blood test right there in the office, and it was very high. And they basically told me that, I was diabetic and that I needed to watch my diet. I was 300 pounds at the time, 330 pounds actually.
Wow.
And I had gained a lot of weight, and I figured, well, that must be it. And I was drinking a lot of pop. All we had at the shop was a pop machine to drink. We had no water machine. You wouldn't want to drink the shop sink water, I'll tell you that. So I was drinking a lot of Mountain Dew. I was drinking 20-ounce bottles. I was probably drinking 12 a day. Yeah, at least. And so I decided that I was going to quit drinking soda pop, and I lost 100 pounds in 1 year.
I guess, yeah, just
Wow.
pop.
Just from not drinking pop. And so then it was just a struggle after that. I have to admit that I kind of ignored my diabetes for a lot of years, and because I didn't really feel bad. I thought, I didn't notice it. And then, later on, that was when I started getting problems. I started getting sores on my legs. I got some sort of little cut or something on my toe that ended up costing me first the big toe, then it ended up costing me my leg just below my knee. 2 surgeries on that one. But, diabetes is no joke. It's, something that, even though it may not make you feel sick, you are sick, and you need to realize that, and you need to take care of it. And right now, I take 1 pill, no insulin, and I control most of it with the diet that my wife has me on.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Yeah.
Yep. She's
That's
really changed my diet, and that's made a big difference. Yeah.
Diet
Way to
is
go,
a
Kelly.
huge. Diet's a huge one. It's a tough one too, though,
Yeah.
because you like all the bad stuff, right? But it's like
Bad
Yeah,
stuff tastes so good.
I know.
I know.
Yeah, my own father, he passed away a few years ago from complications due to diabetes.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just became unmanageable for him, and so.
Yeah.
Well,
So now
the
you-
diet-
For staying healthy as can be right now, and I'm
Yeah.
sure cannabis has had a big help in all that too.
Yeah.
Well, diabetes has cost me more than my leg. I mean, it's cost me my heart rhythm and things of that sort too. I had a heart attack when I was 40 years old. They took me to by helicopter and saved my life right at the last second, basically, by standing in and getting my the Widowmaker. The left anterior descending artery was completely clogged, and I was dealing with that for about 10 hours, waiting on my wife to get home. I thought that because I had a back surgery to finally fix my back, which was a success. It was a beautiful surgery. It worked well for me. And I was in rehab for it, and I thought maybe, I was working too hard. So I thought that that's what the chest pain and the arm pain was from. Well, my wife gets home. First thing she does is she runs to the gas station, gets me 2 aspirin, makes me eat it, and takes me to the hospital. And they said that if she wouldn't have given me that aspirin, they had already run out of time. So my wife saved my life that day for sure.
Wow.
Way to go, Kelly.
So you married a real life. You married a real life angel.
Yeah, I did. Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know how she puts up with me, but but yeah, then I had to have open heart surgery after that to repair the damage that was done.
You have a pacemaker now, right?
I have a defibrillator. It's called an ICD, is what it's called, and it's went off now 4 times. It saved my life. And it's such an insurance policy to know that if at any time my heartbeat goes out of rhythm, it'll shock me back into rhythm rather than me fall on the floor and wait on an ambulance to get there with a defibrillator, and they won't get there fast enough. Yep. They'd be nearly impossible. So, yeah, I've had this in since day one, and I'm lucky to have it. I'm so glad that it's there because it has saved my life already 4 times. It's went off.
Wow. So the med history is there.
Yeah.
So when anybody says, "Well, what's your problem? What you don't look like you have any medical problems,"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just have no idea, right? Don't
Exactly.
you love these people that are, the armchair doctors that know everything?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first joined Facebook, I didn't want anyone to know that, I had a prosthetic until finally I was going to my first event and I was going to meet everybody. So they found out, and I don't. So everyone knows about that. So I'm kind of, people know me for that. But one of the things about it, though, is like I don't complain about my heart condition and stuff like that much. So people don't know that about me that much, that I battle with that. It's, I'm in heart failure and I'm in stage 3. And, it's going to get me one day. But for now, sitting around whining and complaining about it isn't what I'm about.
That's right. You're a hardworking guy that brings the positivity.
I try.
You've been a huge inspiration to me over the last few years here on the network, and I appreciate you. You, bro.
Well, I've loved being on the network. Back when Waylon and I were on the network and he decided to leave, there was no stopping me. I decided that I absolutely wanted to continue with Kim. I thought the show was great. I thought my relationship with Kim was great, and I wasn't going to give that up no matter what. And now we got 22 shows on this network. 23 now. That's right. Wow, 23 shows. And, it's just, I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to be in the IWK 710 Daily Sesh Club as a host. I'm very proud to be a host of Peace News and Views. I love this show. Yeah. And, to have made the relationships that I've made with new people as well as people that have been on here for quite a while, like yourself, Ron. People that have been here from the beginning, too. you know.
It's a great crew. It's a great crew.
Yes.
I want to dive into more about NOK Network and stuff that you're doing on the network with podcasting, as well as outside of the network with podcasting on other shows, as well as running the board and doing production for shows that are off the network and outside of that network. This guy is a busy guy, and he's got a product on the market. We got all that to cover and so much more. But first, I'm looking and I'm seeing it's medication time.
It is. It's break time, and we will take a few minutes to hear about a few of the other shows in our lineup here on NOK Network.
Absolutely. We'll be back in about 4 minutes and 20 seconds, y'all. Hang in there.
Are you frantically ponding away on your keyboard these days? To discuss your views, share your passions, teach a skill, or share a craft to the masses on social media. Podcasting is a bright light that can help you reach a diverse audience. And the NOK Network can help. Even if you have no experience, NOK Network will work with you to develop your content to air on our diverse network to reach a wide audience, allowing us to grow together. Podcasts are aired on multiple platforms simultaneously, across social media and streaming sites live through our network. Contact us and let's chat about how we can help you develop your podcast and join the NOK team.
Hey, hi, my name is John Mark, aka Sublimator Warrior, and I would like to welcome you to Smoke Signal in Tyendinaga.
One dab make your whole dome drip sweat. One dab make the homies all dip set.
Smoke Signals, Tyendinaga.
Smoke Signals, Tyendinaga.
Smoke Signals, Tyendinaga.
Ooey, ooey, gooey, that's a sticky dab. Sticky dab. Might just have to put this one on Instagram.
Smoke Signals,
Go ahead,
Tyendinaga.
hold it in, feel it in your ribs.
Smoke Signals, Tyendinaga.
Check us out in Tyendinaga. 55 Highway 49 in Tyendinaga. It's on the res, and we're open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week.
Advertising space available at NOK. Contact us for a rate sheet at knocknetwork.com. Send us a message on our social media platforms or email us at info@noknetwork.com.
gladly get back to the show.
And we're back for our medication session here on Peace News and Views. Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back, everyone. We hope you'll tune into some of the other podcasts that are available here on the network. And shout out to our sponsors. Check out their social media pages and their websites and show them some love. 100%. Fucking love this guy, right?
I love him. I love him. I could talk for hours.
I know. He's such a good guy. You know, it's I knew it. You know, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I knew it. The very first podcast, I was a guest on another podcast and he was a guest on, and I'm fucking watching him and I'm listening to him talking shit. And then I contacted the guy the next day. I was like, who is that guy with the beard there? The guy. Who is that?
He's one of your tribe.
Who's that?
He's one of your tribe.
Yeah. It was an instant.
And you've got to meet him in person too.
Yeah.
I haven't yet. I hope to meet him one day. I really hope I do.
Yeah. He's a great guy. He really is. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get him back in. I want to dive back into more of this conversation that we're having with this absolutely stellar individual, one and only Mr. Siir SteveO in the house.
You guys are such great friends. I tell you, the things that you say to me and the compliments that you give me, it really makes me feel good. And you know, it's really nice that you guys are the type of people to do that. That's what friends are for, is to uplift each other and try to make each other's lives better. And
100%.
You two truly are that for me.
100%. We all need to be shown that we are appreciated by the people that are in our tribe around us. You know, boosting somebody else does not deflate you.
Right.
I mean, for some reason, people have this idea in their head that they can't do that, or somehow it takes away from themselves. That is absolutely a huge fallacy. I mean, boost those that are around you. Tell people that you care about, that you care, and that they are doing good things. This is the way that we spread this kind of love and gratitude and joy.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. SteveO, you're a fascinating individual. You know, you've been through the ringer in your life. There's no question about that. You stumbled upon, when you're on Facebook, you stumbled upon a couple of groups that really did send your trajectory into a whole new direction. And of course, one of them I'm talking about is a group of people that really did put together something very special online, and that's GrowFam.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that was something, right?
Oh, absolutely. You know, GrowFam definitely changed my life. You know, like the NOK, they're a very positive group of individuals. The admins there and the show hosts, we all became very close, and you know, we still are even now. And you know, I've been so proud to call everybody friend. You know, I tell you, you know, when I joined Facebook because that's what I was looking for. I was lonely. I was alone at home a lot. And I thought, you know, well, you know, I can watch these live streams and make some friends and stuff. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah. But you're right. GrowFam was definitely a big, like the NOK, it was definitely a big part of who I am, and everything now, for sure.
Yeah. Then you also stumbled across a group of just good old boys, got together and launched a little fucking organization in a group way, just having fun, being silly, talking shit. And of course, I'm talking about the boys over at Misfit Island.
Yeah, I was definitely there for a minute. That was a good time. There are definitely some good old boys over there. For sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you're talking about meeting up with the boys, I got a shout out to the boys over at Third Eye Organics. I tell you what, they definitely have made me feel 110%. Third Eye is run by Clayton Neidig, and he also has some very good friends, Slappy, Danny, all those guys, Weed Santa, there's, the Muffin Man, there's a lot of these people that you and I both got the pleasure of meeting for the first time when we went to Kansas City. And wouldn't you agree that when we went there, it kind of felt like we've already been here before? And
I felt like I knew those people for fucking ever when I got there. You know what? And that's what I was going to say. All of these things, when you met up with Ash and Dreadful, like that kind of sent you in a new direction. You learned about podcasting. You were making some connections. You hooked up with the boys and stuff from Misfit Island. You got more connections. You were meeting some entrepreneurs. You were now attending events and stuff, and you're finding out about all this new space. And then we wound up, everybody, you wound up meeting Clayton Neidig. Clayton Neidig is the catalyst, I think. He is the glue. He's the one. He's the magnet sitting in the middle, and everybody kind of went whoosh, and we all met through Clayton, right?
Right.
And I mean, Third Eye Organics, like you say, that's Clayton Neidig and his lovely wife Nessa. Those people fucking rock, man.
They do. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I talk to Clayton nearly every day now, and awesome. Even if it's just a text or whatever, we still, every day, green morning, brother. Yeah. That's what he tells me, and he tells me he loves me. Yeah. And it's just we stay in contact, not just because of the show, and or anything like that. It's just pure friendship, and him and Nessa are just such good people. I can't say enough about them.
Yeah.
And they're perfect for each other too.
I agree.
They're a great couple.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Those folks down there in Missouri, man. Missouri it quickly became my favorite state. And I'd never been to Missouri. I've been all over the United States. I had never been to Missouri. And it's like, holy fuck, why haven't I come here?
I know. It's beautiful down there. It's a very beautiful state. They have a very beautiful area that they live in, too. We got to see, even just pulling up to a train station, we got to see all sorts of different things in architecture and stuff downtown when we were down there. Picking up Rasta Rhino. I've got pictures of all sorts of statues and things of that sort, and murals and, things like that. So
Yeah. It's
very
city. Cool. Yeah, very cool. Very cool time indeed. Very cool time indeed. You embarked on a podcast where you were sort of a sidekick or a joint host, color commentary almost with Waylon Maccabee, and we're doing a podcast with them called The Indoor Farmer, and that's where I found you.
Yeah.
And you were on this podcast, and then I had stumbled across it. I was surfing, and I was like, "What's this, The Indoor Farmer?" And it's like, "What's this? What's this?" And then, I was chatting, and then he invited me in, and I was watched a few episodes, and then I did an episode with him, and you were there, and a whole bunch of people were there, and I immediately, it's like I kept staring at you. I tend to do that with people when I'm drawn to them, right? And I live by vibes, always have. My vibe is my tribe, right? And it doesn't matter if it's on internet or a telephone call or whatever. Vibes travel. If I'm communicating with somebody, I'm getting your vibe, and I know right away if I want to explore that or if I don't.
Yeah.
And with you, it was immediate. It was immediate. It's like, oh, this guy. I need to know who this guy is. I need to find out more about this guy. And so I started watching and I started chatting with you. And then, of course, you guys came over to the network with the show. Waylon chose not to stick around. He stayed for a few months. But by then, I had already asked you. I was like, okay, so you do this show with Waylon. Are you interested in doing another show? I'd love to have you join me as my co-host on my show.
I'm so glad you did.
Yeah, we've been rocking it out ever since, and it's been absolutely fantastic. And now you're doing, running the producing chair for Master and Mama Rochi. You're running the producer's chair for Clayton Idig and Third Eyed Organics.
Yeah.
You're going to live on location events, and you're running shows for them out there. And you do the IWK 710 Daily Sesh. It's like, holy fuck, SteveO just went kaboom. He's all over the place.
Great.
Great.
Yeah. I tell you, I used to do a lot more, but not so much anymore. But yeah, definitely, I'm happy with what I'm doing at this point right now. And Kim, one of the things that I definitely want to say to you is that since I've been with the NOK, I mean, literally, I realized from the beginning that I didn't know nothing, and you taught me pretty much everything that I know. I got a lot of experience by being on Grow Fam shows, and I got a lot of experience by being on NOK network shows, things of that sort. But as far as producing, as far as engineering shows, things of that sort, you taught me so much that I literally can feel good by saying that you are my mentor when it came to these types of things.
Thank you.
So, and I really appreciate you, because I come to you with any question, and
for sure.
You seem to always know. And not just that, you've also been a good friend as well, separate from that. I mean, you've been there for me. There was one instance where I had my very first, and if not my only, real panic attack I've ever had, and you got me through that. And I feel like that we connected that day for life.
Yeah,
because it just
I consider
really
you a good friend. I
was
really
amazing.
do. I really consider you a very, very good friend. And I hold on to my friends. My friends are near and dear to me. I'll do anything for my friends. Once you become my friend, well, it's not so easy to get away.
That's right.
There's two words that I can just. Sorry. There's two
Go
words
ahead.
I can describe Siir SteveO with: genuine and real.
100%.
100%.
And I appreciate that. And that's what I gravitate towards, right? Just be real.
Maybe I need to be a little more real. I bite my tongue a lot, though.
You're real enough. You just gotta learn to trust your instincts, trust your judgment, and speak up more.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And wisdom comes into play sometimes too. Sometimes biting your tongue is sometimes the right thing. Sometimes it's not.
Kelly vibes all day too.
Yeah. Yeah, Kelly's a big fan of yours, Kim. She was from day one.
Awesome. I love her too. So that's feelings. It's a two-way street. A feeling's mutual there, my dear. Feeling is absolutely mutual, right? 100%. 100%. SteveO, you're an amazing dude, man. I could sing your praises all fucking day long, no problem, because you just do that much. With all of the production and everything that you've got going on, you also have a wonderful product. Tell us about Terp Sticks.
Terp Sticks. Oh yeah, they're all organic. They're all vegan, and they're they're made from candelilla wax instead of beeswax, so that keeps them vegan for us. And it also makes it glide better, and it's very super smooth. It's made with 100% botanical terpenes. The new flavor that's out right now is called Pineapple Express, and it's very good. It's Ashley certified.
Yes, Ashley's got her thing.
She's got the commercial out for us right now.
Absolutely, absolutely.
My wife has. My wife is always the one that does the testing, and she tested these out, and she gives them 2 thumbs up.
Nice. Great for sunburned lips. And I mean, that's a huge thing now, right? Like, because the sun is really hot.
Oh, yeah. I was at the beach for 1 hour with my shirt off, and my whole top of my back got burned for 1 hour. And I've got olive skin, so I don't usually burn. Yeah. So, yeah, your lips are very sensitive part of your body. And wintertime, summertime, everybody needs to protect their lips.
Yeah. In the wintertime is just as important. The cold air in the wind, you can get windburn lips from the freezing temperatures when the freezing cold air is blowing on you, and we've got high winds with those cold temperatures. With me here in northern Ontario and in Canada, we get easily get minus 40 temperatures on a regular basis, and you get what is equivalent to a burn, but it's frostbite, it's freezer burn. It's like getting freezer burn on your lips.
Yep, because your lips are wet and they instantly freeze, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, wintertime, too, it's not just from the sun, right? I mean, it's protection from the elements, and wind is included in that, right?
True. Yeah. Kelly, I have to give credit for the Terp Stick idea to Master Rochi. He's the one that gave me the idea. We were conversing because I was like, I really need to come up with a product, and things of that sort. And I'm like, I really want it to help people. I really want it to be this. I really want it to be that. And he said, well, what about this? And he ran, and the idea just evolved from his idea of doing a lip balm. Because he said he had considered it in the past, and he goes, but I decided not to do it. He goes, so what do you think about that? And it was one of the ideas, and I was like, nah, I didn't like it at first. And then eventually I did. And, him and Mama Rochi, and they're always so supportive of me as well. Yeah. I got to give a shout out to Mama Rochi as well, because she's always here for me. She's always there no matter what. I talk to her practically every day too, just like I do Kim, and it's like, we just, came up with the idea, and then it evolved on, well, how do you want to do it? Do you want it to be vegan? Do you want it to be this? Do you want it to be that? And, I make every one of them by hand as well. Each and every one is filled by hand, and I make the lip balm by hand and everything, make it out of all natural ingredients. So there's a lot that goes into it.
And the smell is cool. I mean, it's got a great smell. It's got a great smell. It's got a great texture on the mouth. It doesn't leave that, that yucky, waxy taste.
Right.
That you get.
That can be from beeswax.
Yeah. And it doesn't taste good. It's a yucky, it's a thick, heavy, waxy taste. I just dropped it. Shit. I get it.
It is round after all.
I have dogs. Gonna steal it on me. I have to find it.
So, is there a website for the Terp Sticks?
Yes,
they just
actually.
contact you?
Yeah, you can get them at www.thegrowfam.com. Thegrowfam.com. That's where they are. Okay, and I believe that there's still some cherry pie left, possibly too. I'm not sure if those are sold out or not, but yeah, definitely that's where you can get them. I am working on getting them onto masterrochiesgarden.com as well. But for now,
Awesome.
they're at thegrowfam.com.
Yeah. That's the other thing too, is when you put these things on with the beeswax, they get cakey. You know what I mean? They get that, like, you'll put it on and it'll be like chunk, right? And it's like you gotta smooth it all out now, or take off the excess. You don't have to do that with this one.
Yeah. Especially at this temperature, I use coconut oil that is designed to get soft at 76 degrees. So typically that 50 degree to 80 degrees in your purse or whatever is like that sweet spot. And, I bet it got even softer as it heats up in your house, as you use it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But not too soft.
Right.
Where it's all going like fucking mushy and cakey and shit, right?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't get too soft, right? It's you've got a good recipe there.
Yeah, and it takes like 5-6 ingredients, but they're all natural, and I have to get them right in order to have the product turn out correct.
Yeah.
A little too much of this, not enough of that, and we got a problem on our hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it can change the whole consistency and flavor.
Yeah.
And smell and everything, right?
Yeah. One drop too much of one liquid, and now it's not setting.
Right.
I mean, that's a big fucking problem, man. So I mean, precision is key, and you're doing a fine job with it, because every one that I've had has been absolutely marvelous.
Well, you've seen the evolution. You saw me go from thermal printer labels to now I have Crystal Mama Rochi. She makes these really nice full color ones that you can read the ingredients and it not be all grainy. She does a beautiful job. Shout out to Mama for that as well. But
she did a great job on my stickers too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she did do your stickers.
Yeah, she did a great job on my stickers too.
And then that big table thing that she made for us, table hanger. Yeah, there it is.
I got it on my banner. It's hanging over my banner. It hangs up on my banner every day.
Yeah, some people really have good skills at crafts and things of that sort. Right. I know my wife, if I got her a Cricut, she would make so many things with that thing. Her friend has one. Her best friend has one, and she doesn't hardly ever use it. And I'm always like, you should get her to let you use it.
Right.
Sell me that thing for half price.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ron.
I was just going to say, some people, they have the gift of the craft, and they exceed at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love your product, Siir SteveO. I love seeing when people develop product there's been thought and consideration taken into it for all aspects. And like all natural, vegan. Like, I love all those points. Those are all awesome points. What a lot more people are gravitating towards nowadays, rather than the chemically laden stuff and everything, right? So it's nice.
We're waking up. We're figuring out that, like, okay, that's not good for us. Maybe that's why we're sick. Right?
even so much to our food and the type of diet we eat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We were already talking about that earlier on the show.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, down to simple stuff like water, salt, your table salt, the water that you drink. So they have strained it. They have depleted it of all mineral and nutritional value and nutrient value. Then they're going to add some chlorine to purify it. And then we're going to fortify it with fluoride that causes brain damage and is considered a carcinogen and has warning labels on it to not swallow it. But we're going to add that to our water. So now we have no minerals in the water that's been boiled and sterilized, added fucking chlorine, and we're going to put a fucking carcinogen in it. And we're going to tell people to fucking drink 8 to 10 glasses of this stuff a day.
Right.
And then if you go to the spring and you find a natural spring and you go and you take your containers there and you fill up your containers and you drink that water instead, which is loaded with minerals in it and natural stuff that's coming out of the ground that your body is supposed to have, then the fucking health department tells you, oh, you can't drink that, you should boil it first. Oh, so you would like me to kill it the way you did before I have this, and I'm better off with the fluoride, am I? You know, like,
right.
People are starting to wake up to the fact that, excuse me, but this doesn't really make sense.
Right.
Right.
You know.
Great. Well, just before the show, I think it was just before the show. I don't think I mentioned on the show. 8 out of 10. This was a study in America, in U.S., I believe. 8 out of 10 people are using cannabis to substitute prescription drugs. Yeah, 8 in 10 marijuana consumers use it as a substitute for prescription drugs. New survey finds.
Yeah. Let's get rid of the chemicals and get back to nature.
That's 80%. 8 out of 10. 80% of people are substituting their pills.
Yeah.
No wonder the pharmaceutical industry and the alcohol industry are scrambling.
Yeah, 100%. You know, full circle. You know, we know this about our water. We're finding out about plant medicines, and we're utilizing cannabis. You know, you develop a product to help people with their lips that is all natural ingredients, doesn't have any carcinogens in it, and the pot in you said, "Hey, let's add terpenes from pot."
That's right. All natural terpenes, botanical as well. And the thing is it contains no CBD, no THC.
Right. So it's legal everywhere.
That's right. And it's safe for the whole family.
Right. But the terpenes in it, this is what gives you your smell. And it also, terpenes are now being shown, there is no euphoric effect. They are safe for all to have. I mean, terpenes are in everything from vanilla extract to freaking, you know, cotton candy, right? I mean, terpenes are in absolutely everything from pine trees to tomato plants. So adding cannabinoid terpenes or cannabis terpenes to give you like the smells or the flavors of stuff like Pineapple Express, it makes it appealing to the stoner community. Oh, look, I have terpenes in my lip balm. I think it's so fucking cool. It's great. It's a great way to incorporate the world of cannabis into an all-natural product.
Right.
That was the thought behind it, that's for sure. I'm glad that it's helped so many people. I mean, it does pretty well. You know, we sell a few every week, and every time there's a new flavor, it seems like everybody wants to get it. So I'm happy and proud that I'm supported by the community and that people repurchase after they've bought it. They don't just try it and go, this ain't no big deal, and throw it to the side. They actually like it, and they want more. So that's really good.
Yeah, that's good. When you get the repeat orders from that, that's nice. Not the income on the side of it. I don't know how much it is or whatever. I don't even need to know. But just on the fact that you know that there's someone out there that is feeling benefit from something that you're able to provide. That's got to be a good feeling to experience. To help someone. So, outside of any monetary stuff, right?
Yeah. Just the feeling of helping and knowing that people enjoy your product, being able to make something that people love, right?
Yeah, being able to make a difference in the world.
Yeah.
And for SteveO, this world is definitely a better place because of you. I hit it here.
Oh, thanks, Ron. And I feel the same way about you as well. I just, I just try to be a good example of, people respecting each other, getting along, and stuff. I have my moments, trust me, in life where I get frustrated and pissed off.
Yeah, we all do.
Oh,
I
same
lose
here.
my,
Same here.
I
No
lose
angel.
my, yeah.
Yep. Same here. Same here. I'm no angel. I'm no angel. Believe me, I'm no angel. I'll be the first to admit that.
You see, my wife is a great example of that. She's the type of person that everybody loves. She can get along anywhere with anybody at any time. So I've had a lot of practice, seeing her be the way she is, and it's rubbed off on me, because anything good about me has only happened because of my wife. She's the one that taught me, how to be a certain way or to change and, not think this way or that way, so.
Well, you're living, you're leading your life by example, and I've certainly noticed that as well. And that's where some of the inspiration that you've provided me from has helped give me a more clearer outlook on life, shall we say, and just be able to just kind of let things happen, but at the same time, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, SteveO has been a huge influence on me as well. I've learned a lot from him. He says he's learned a lot from me. I've learned a lot from him as well, and patience, and looking at things from different perspectives. He'll say, "Oh, I never thought of it that way." And it's like, well, how did you think of it? Because I couldn't think of it any other way. And then he'll tell me he thought of it. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. I never thought of it that way. Like, so it's a very, very cool synergistic relationship where we're learning from each other, with this mutual respect that we have, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. Final thoughts, Ron? Final thoughts or questions?
One question I've had that I might have asked this to you before, but hey, I'm also known as the forgetful stoner around here, so I might have forgotten about this. But where did the name Siir SteveO come from? How did that come to be?
That's a good question. That was actually an accident. I used to be called Stoner SteveO.
Okay.
And that was my handle on Facebook. And I turned 50 years old, and I thought, I think that it's time for a more grown-up handle. So my son goes, okay, so what about Siir SteveO? So I was like, I kind of like that. So I threw it up on the screen, but I misspelled Sir. and Facebook wouldn't let me change it for 90 days. So I just kept it.
Well, I love the double I. I love the double I in there. It's your trademark.
It is.
It's becoming your trademark.
If you go on Facebook or anything and you start to type it SIIR, I come up. So it makes me be the first one that you see, at least.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's right.
So
that's fucking cool.
It's unique, so it helped me then that way, yeah.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Cool.
That's cool.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Love chatting with you, my friend. Could chat with you and do chat with you for hours after the show on many occasions. Tonight, I am exhausted. We are busy as shit. Everything going on. I'm seeing the clock, and I'm looking, and I'm realizing, it's time to cue the chickens. It's shout out time. All righty, my friend. Give us your shout outs. Tell us how you get a hold of you and how to find your products.
Okay, well, right now I'm sad to say that I am mysteriously blocked from going live, but you can find me on what I call NOK Wednesdays for Siir SteveO, where I do my IWK 710 daily session at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And then immediately after, of course, at 8 p.m., I do Peace, News, and Views with the great Kim Cooper. And so you can still see me live. You can see me live on Wednesdays there. and also on the Groove Train every other Friday. And the Groove Train will be hitting the tracks this Friday, as a matter of fact. So look forward to that. And we do that show with Master Rochi, Mama Rochi, and Ashley Huffman, as well as a couple of extra special guest hosts that we have from
Now,
time.
that's not an NOK show. Where is that aired?
That is aired actually. Well, it was on the Groove Train page, but we caught the ban, so we can't go live there. So it's on YouTube and Rumble mostly at this point, and X. I believe it can still be live on Ashley's profile, so you may be able to find it there this Friday.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to work with you all. We'll contact you all after the show. I may have a way to get you guys back on the Groove Train page. Let me see if I can help you with that.
Okay.
I got Ron up and running, so work for him. We'll try and get your Groove Train page up and running as well. So that's awesome. Looking forward to the Groove Train and all the folks on the Groove Train, and of course Wednesdays with Certified Army and Mr. Siir SteveO. Let's give Ron a chance for a shout out. You hardly ever get on here. Shout outs, Ron.
All right.
Shout out to Siir SteveO right over here. He's my man. I'm glad to call him my friend, and it's been a great show tonight, my good sir. And I enjoy our chats here on the show as well as off the show. I don't get to watch you as often as I would like because I'm busy doing my shows a lot myself. I do like 10 shows a week, including a daily show on, I'll give myself a plug. Well, yeah, I'm giving the network a plug. Morning Wake and Bake show here every morning, 7 a.m. Eastern time, called Rise and Shine. It's marijuana time. We're usually here for about an hour and a half, sometimes 2, having a great time smoking with our like-minded friends. And it is a great time. We've got a great group of guests, our viewers. Sometimes guests, sometimes our viewers become our guests on the show. They come up for a pop or two, and or more. And shout out to Kim right over here, because without Kim, none of this would be possible. None of it would be possible. So thank you very much, Kim, for allowing all of this to happen and to provide all this great information and education and entertainment to the viewers.
Well, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome, my friend. You're more than welcome. All right, I'm going to do a shout out to, of course, 710 Stoner Games. We are down to the wire. People arrive starting in 7 days. 7 days, our campers will be starting to arrive here, and the games will be streamed live on the NOK network next Saturday on July the 12th. Is the Stoner Games Extravaganza event with Stoner Olympics and awards ceremony for the Stoner Games Cup as well. So we're looking forward to seeing you all either online or here in person on the farm at Kist Acres in Northern Ontario and beautiful Englehart, Ontario. And my shout out is also to all of the awesome joint hosts that we have here in the network. I see a number of you are in the audience this evening to speak with and listen to Siir SteveO speak. Thank you to everybody that contributes content to the NOK network. I created a space to give podcasters a free speech platform that will not have interference from management on your content. And I managed to create that with a great group of knowledgeable folks, such as Siir SteveO and Ron Mcnabb in the house. Are just 2 of them. Of course, the Rochis are there as well with their weekly show, 710 Daily Shash, and a bunch of news stories, news shows, a couple of interview shows. Great group of folks here at the NOK network. It isn't me, it's them. They sing my praises. I sing their praises. I couldn't be here without the joint hosts that contribute the fabulous content that we've got going on here at NOK Network. Check out a show and find your groove here on the NOK Network. Find one that is right for you, and visit some of these amazing folks that we got around here on NOK. SteveO, thank you for joining us as our guest tonight.
Thank you very much. It was an honor.
Thank you. And
Yes.
I thoroughly enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better, and you having the opportunity to let our viewers get to know you a little bit better.
Well, I appreciate that a lot. It was nice being able to tell, some things that people didn't know about me. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
to everybody for tuning in to the NOK Network Peace News and Views tonight with our joint host guest, Siir SteveO in the house. Ron, take us out of here.
All right. In closing, I would like to just thank our guest, Siir SteveO, for joining us here tonight on Peace News and Views, created for and aired on NOK Network. And thank you to all of you, our listeners, for joining us tonight on our Cannabis Focus podcast. And thank you for tuning in, everyone. And we will see you again next week with another very special guest here on Peace News and Views on NOK Network with Siir SteveO, taking back the reins in my spot. I'm filling in tonight for him. He'll be back at the reins with Kim Cooper tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Next week. So, good night, everyone, and peace.
Peace. Woo-hoo-hoo!
It's all going to pot, whether we like it or not. Best I can tell, the world's gone to hell, and we're sure gonna miss it a lot. All the whiskey in Lynchburg, Tennessee, just couldn't fill the spot. I got $100 bill, man, you can keep your pills, man. It's all going to pot. It's all going to pot, whether we like it or not. Best I can tell, the world's gone to hell, and we're sure gonna miss it a lot. All the whiskey in Lynchburg, Tennessee, just couldn't fill the spot. I got $100 bill, man, you can keep your pills, man. It's all going to pot. I got $100 bill, man, you can keep your pills, man. It's all going to